How's it going? Ryan here at Etrailer.com. Today we're going to be taking a look at the CURT 1.25" to 2" trailer hitch receiver adapter. Many of our customers that have a 1.25" hitch on their car, or that's the only size available for their vehicle, have 2" accessories. And those accessories aren't going to work with that 1.25" hitch. Well, this is an easy way to allow you to use those accessories without having to get new ones. And the vehicle we have here today is a perfect example of that. The only hitches available for this particular vehicle are only an 1.25" in size. But by using the adapter, you're not going to be limited on what accessories you can use. And one of the things that our customers said that they really like about this is once you slide it into the hitch and put your pin and clip through, it's also going to give you a little bit of extra length. And that's going to be perfect for those folding accessories because you're going to get a little bit more clearance in between that accessory and your bumper. Now, since each hitch and each accessory is a little bit different, the way you're going to be able to find out if this is going to work for you or not is just to take a few quick measurements. The first one that you're going to have to pay attention to is to make sure that your receiver tube on the hitch is deep enough. That way the back of the shank here on our adapter doesn't bottom out. So from the center of the pinhole here on the adapter to the end of the adapter, it's going to be 1.5 inches. Now that's not very long, and most hitches are a lot deeper than that, so chances are really good that that's not going to be an issue there. But to be on the safe side, to figure that out, you could simply come to the hitch pin hole on your hitch and make sure that the receiver tube has at least 1.5 inches of depth before it meets your cross tube. Then what you'd want to make sure next is that the pinhole in the adapter, as well as in your hitch, are going to be able to line up. So the center of the hitch pin hole here on our adapter to the thicker base here, it's about 2.5 inches. So as long as that measurement isn't any larger than that, from the center of the hitch pin hole on your hitch to the end of the receiver tube, your pinholes are going to be able to line up. So those measurements are pretty common and give us quite a bit of wiggle room. So chances are pretty good that this is going to be able to work with many hitches. It's just something that I wanted to point out to be on the safe side. So to give you an example, here we have a 2" cargo carrier that we normally wouldn't be able to use. But since we slid our adapter in place, now we're able to use that cargo carrier. Now there is something to keep in mind. Whenever we do use our adapter, it is going to decrease our hitch's overall weight limit by 50%. So that's something important to remember, especially when you're using accessories like this cargo carrier. You're not going to be able to weigh them down as much as you normally would. But if you're looking to free up a little bit of that weight, one thing you can do is look into an aluminum cargo carrier like we have right here. Now the adapter isn't recommended to do any towing with, but if you need to, we have multiple different types of ball mounts available for 1.25" hitches here at Etrailer.com. After hearing what most of our customers had to say, it seems like the majority of people just want an easy way to take their 2" bike rack and make it work with their 1.25" hitch. So here we can take our rack and slide it into the adapter. We can put our pin in. Now one thing I do want to mention is that the adapter doesn't come with the pin and clips, so if you don't have any, you can always pick them up here at Etrailer.com. So as you can see, the bike rack is going to fit in there great and give us all the room that we need. Now some of our customers did say whenever they were using the adapter that they could hear a little bit of rattle back here, but the possibility of that can depend on what type of hitch you have or even what type of accessory that you're using. But what we're going to do is have our bike on the rack here we're going to take our vehicle out for a spin and see if we notice anything. So we figured we'd go ahead and just kind of run through our test course to see if we notice anything. So what we're first going to do is go over this string of bumps here, see if we notice any noise. Kind of just slowly roll over them. And as we go, once our back tires get over them, I'm not gonna lie, I can hear a little bit of noise, but it's not all that bad. And I mean, to be honest with you, how often are you going to be going over multiple bumps back to back like this? I think the occasional bump, like when you're pulling into your driveway, for example, I don't even think you'd really notice it or really bother you at all. So now what we can do is pick up a little bit of speed and just make some sweeping turns, a little bit of evasive maneuvering, and see if we can hear or feel anything. So I'm listening closely, and I really can't hear any noise at all or feel anything different if I was just carrying my bike rack without the adapter. So in our particular case, we're all good there as far as this evasive maneuvering goes. Now, something to keep in mind, every vehicle, hitch, and accessory is going to be a little bit different from the next. So in your particular situation, if you do have kind of an annoying noise or a little bit too much play in your connection point back there than you would prefer, there is a solution to fix that. And the solution would be to get a anti-rattle pin and clip. And those pin and clips are going to eliminate all that play in the connection point, thus eliminating any noise. Now, if that is your case and that's the route you'd like to take, there's plenty of different types of those pin and clips here at Etrailer.com. So just to kind of cover some of the basics, this is going to be made from steel, so we know it's going to be really reliable. And it's also going to have a thick gloss black powder coat finish, not only to keep it looking good, but to help protect it from any rust or corrosion. Now, the 1.25" shank, that's going to use a 1/2 inch size pin. And the part here where it extends to 2 inches, that pinhole is going to be a 5/8 size. So it's going to have a 350 pound maximum gross tongue weight rating. And so that's going to be the amount of weight pushing down. And the overall length of the adapter itself from end to end is going to be 10 inches. And from the center of the hitch pin hole to the center of the other hitch pin hole, that's going to be 6 inches. Now overall, it's just going to be really well put together. All the welds are going to be nice and clean. It's going to have a real good looking reinforced collar here that adds a nice touch. And so just to kind of give you a comparison to our CURT one here, we have the Brophy, and pretty similar. However, I think the CURT is kind of put together a little bit better, especially when it comes to the collar. I think the CURT just has a appearance advantage. As far as the weight capacities go, this Brophy is going to be a 300 pound maximum tongue weight rating compared to the 350. Now if you kind of flip it over and hold them side by side, the Brophy is going to be a little bit longer overall, and the 2-inch receiver here is also going to be a tad bit longer. So if your accessory has a really long shank and you need a little bit more room, the Brophy will give you that advantage there. But as I said, the majority of the time, most accessories are going to work just fine with this one too. So overall, a really convenient way to be able to use those 2-inch accessories with your 1.25" hitch without having to go out and get new ones. And that'll finish up our look of the CURT 1.25" to 2-inch trailer hitch receiver adapter.